Good morning and welcome to Today in the News here in Vanguard Live. My name is Ololade Adeomi. I'll flip into all our newspapers for today, starting with Vanguard. Major headline on Vanguard says 2027 majority of senators want real-time result transmission. Abari Beningé Ume others says vow to ensure inclusion, monitor process to presidential assent. Outrage greets Senate's rejection of mandatory transmission of result. Opposition parties blast Senate. Obi, ADC, Yaga, Africa, Nwako, others speak. Major story can be found on page 7. I look at the top banner. We see a picture of Governor Umba with rescued Kurumi Wali church worshippers. Top banner says U.S. President acknowledges Nigeria's first lady as respected woman. 1949 massacre. Court orders UK to pay 420 million pounds. Families. Poor data privacy. How online scams, unsolidated ads score Nigeria's digital economy low. How Nigeria can move from potential to economic prosperity, says Adedeji. A look into the lower banner, we can see KWARA Massacre. Soldiers come 10 hours after terrorists had killed scores, says village head. Troops promptly deployed on receipt of information of attack, says defense headquarters. This story can be found on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. 10,000 drivers to benefit from Lagos government health and safety program. Downstream deregulation delivers 6 trillion naira gain in 9 months, says MDPRA. 2 PDP insist on fielding candidates in 2027 polls. And lastly, INEC registers NDC. DLA worries over crisis in parties. Away from the Vanguard newspaper, a look into the Punch newspaper. Major headline on the Punch says, KWARA Massacre. UN condemns killings as Turkey pledges support. Tinubu meets governors. Northern senators demand security overhaul. IG deploys tactical team. Tobana says Electoral Act. Opposition pushes back as e-transmission faces firestorm. Kaduna abduction. 183 freed victims recount ordeal. Governor pledges rehabilitation. PDP crisis. Governor pledges rehabilitation. PDP crisis. Makinde camp fumes as INEC recognizes. Lastly, respected woman. Trump hails Remi Tinubu as U.S. prayer breakfast. Away from that, a look into the Nation newspaper. Major headline on the Nation says terrorists killed KWARA villagers for refusing strange belief. All 183 rescued Kurmi Wali worshippers back from captivity. Remi Tinubu's presence at U.S. prayer excites Trump. INEC obeys Tinubu's presence at U.S. prayer excites Trump. INEC obeys court order on PDP leadership. Wiki's group, Nigeria can fast-track economic growth by NRS boss. RMFAC, new pay package for office holders ready. Lower banner, it says Nigeria, World Bank strengthening partnership to boost economy. And finally, federal government ends use partnership to boost economy. And finally, federal government ends use of tax credit scheme for road construction. That's all we have on the list today. Join us after the break for a quick analysis. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Today in the News here on Vanguard Life. My name is Ololade Adeomi. I look into our first story for today. It says 2027 majority of senators want real-time 2027 majority of senators want real-time result transmission, says Abaribe Ningi Ume others. The Senate was divided yesterday as 13 frontline opposition senators kicked against reports that the upper chamber of the National Assembly rejected mandatory electronic transmission of election results in its Wednesday passage of the Electoral Act 2022. As outrage trailed the Senate's reported decision, Senators Abaribe, Victor Ume, and Abdul Ningi, among others, stated yesterday that they stand on the proposed amendment to Clause 60, subsection 3 of the bill, which sought to make the electronic transmission of election results mandatory, and vowed that the provision will be monitored to the point of transmission for presidential assent. According to them, More than two-thirds of the Senate wanted real-time transmission of election results, and the Senate was yet to conclude the matter. For more details on this particular story, head over to our website at www.vanguardngr.com. I look into our second story for today. Second story says, KWARA Massacre. Soldiers came 10 hours after terrorists had killed scores, says village head. The head of Woro village in KWARA State, Omar Saliu, has said that the terrorists attacked his community for nearly 10 hours before security forces arrived, leaving scores dead, and the village was razed. Speaking during an interview on Arise News yesterday, Saliu said distress calls to authorities were made shortly after the attack began about 5 p.m., but soldiers only arrived about 3 a.m. the following morning. He also claimed that sensitive intelligence may have been compromised as he had reported a threat letter to security agencies. Meanwhile, the defense headquarters said troops were promptly dispatched to dominate the general areas with robust patrols and surveillance, among other security measures, for about 2 weeks, as it expressed shock over the tragic loss of innocent lives. It's called cowardly terrorist attacks on Woro and neighboring communities in Kiama, KWARA State. Details on this story is available on our website at www.vanguardngr.com. Enjoy the quoting on the show for today. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms as seen on your screen. For up-to-date stories at vanguardngr.com. My name is Ololade Adewumi. Until next time, bye for now.